Welcome to Wfnl Tv, where we take a look into the clubs and people of the Western Football Netball League. Here's what's included in this month's show.
More reward at the end of the day. But in terms of preparation, we still did the normal Tuesday night review last week.
We stopped by West Footscray and North Footscray recently to review the round 13 clash between the inner west rivals. Both are big improvers this season and are on a collision course to meet again in the first week of the Division 2 finals.
It comes down to how much work we've put into our forward 50.
You guys have trained really hard, even though we've only had 2 training sessions. I feel like even though those 2 training sessions, we've got so much out of that.
Sunshine netballer Dorothy Mepu chronicles her day with the WFNL's Association Championships team. WFNL commentary team members Andrew Wilson and Connor Payne talk the season so far in the TIV Division 1 and Division 2 men's competitions.
So I'm a field umpire in the Western Football Netball League.
We chat to a Division 1 umpire with a passion for his craft. We've also got the latest ladders and much more.
It's obviously a massive game on the weekend just gone against North Footscray, made even bigger by the fact that you were second and third on the ladder, on the wrong side of a really amazing clash. How much time and preparation do you put into a game like that during the week?
No more than normal, to be honest. It's a top 3 clash, so there's a little bit more, probably more care about it, or more reward at the end of the day. But in terms of preparation, we still did the normal Tuesday night review last week. Spoke about it Thursday and then did a normal pre-match on Saturday.
Yeah, I think the big thing for us is just to, it's so cliche to do the week by week thing, but definitely there was that added feeling to it. We knew how hard they were going to come out. So yeah, I think the preparation didn't change too much, but definitely a lot more talk during the week about the game and really focusing on our matchups and how we wanted to play.
What did you guys talk about in the build-up when it came to North Footscray's style, or any particular players you wanted to have a look at?
They set up pretty well throughout the game. Their defence, the ball movement out of their defence is really smooth and really quick. And they set up a pretty good zone, and it's kind of hard to kick through that zone. We touched on the style, how they want to play. We took our thoughts back to how they played us last time we played them. So we factored that in about, they're a stronger body side. They set up extremely well behind the ball. So we factored in that to how we wanted to move the ball. And obviously we had some matchups for their forwards, like Seraphin's obviously a very good footballer. But other than that, we were more focused on how we want to play.
So is that a theme for you guys? You focus more internally than putting time into opposition players?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously every week you always have, whether it's 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 key players for the opposition that you have to show them respect. But you have to show respect to every team. But yeah, we're more focused on, particularly with our list and demographic and trying to teach them to play. We're sort of more focused on how we want to play and make sure that's right.
Their age profile stacks up pretty similar to ours, so we know that they're going to play pretty quick. We definitely watched a bit of footage. They definitely improved on sort of the way that they move the footy in terms of those short 15-metre kicks and the way they move the footy, but in terms of their actual team, we know that they have a really strong forward line and that their midfield on their day can get on top of you. And
the way you're talking, it sort of sounds like you anticipated that it was going to be a different side that you came up against this time around.
Even looking at the results, I think before they played us, they were 5 on the trot and their results were really strong as well. We didn't go into the game thinking, we've beaten them by 44 points and we've improved, so it's going to be an even bigger score. And we knew that it was going to be a tight game. And
they had a pretty good day in front of the sticks, but does inaccuracy tell the full story for you guys, or does the result go a little deeper than that?
I think they kicked 10 goals straight because they got good shots. And that's a credit to North Footscray for their ball movement and allowing themselves to get good shots on goal. And we didn't defend that as well as we could have. And on the flip side, there were shots that we took that probably weren't great shots, and we could have looked for someone in better positions. And obviously we also, you always miss a couple that you'd rather kick, but I think that's just the story of the game.
You look at the points that we kicked, we probably were under a lot of pressure. So we obviously weren't sitting in good spots for lining up for goal, and obviously coming out of the midfield under pressure, and we're just rushing it through. Those scoring shots were to the top of the square, and a North Footscray would fist it through for a behind.
To touch on the weekend, I thought, it's spot on. The looks that we were getting, it wasn't like we were just fluking them from the bounds or anything like that. They were really good looks, and it comes down to how much work we've put into our forward 50 entries as well as our setups and structures as well. So we've really worked together on, you know, the way that we want to set up at different parts of the ground as well as the personnel we want in different areas. And yeah, it's really improved out of sight the last 4 weeks. I was really pleased with the looks, but yeah, the conversion as well really paid off.
You guys outscored them 33-9 in the last quarter. I mean, that's a blistering run home. What changed for you guys tactically and execution-wise in that fourth? And what did you guys talk about at three-quarter time? What did you talk to the guys about to get that performance out of them?
Yeah, I think it was pretty basic in that we probably went into our show a little bit in the second and third quarter. And we spoke about that we wanted to move the ball a little bit quicker, probably not trying to take on as much, probably just make ground.
It just came down to being just our basic preparation throughout the week and what we always train to do. And it obviously it shows that it does work, and it did in that last quarter.
Was it a good old-fashioned rev up from you, or was it just more building on what you'd already been speaking about?
No, it was probably more one of the more mundane sort of three-quarter times. It was more just let's play how we want to play. We hadn't really played that style of footy most of the day. We knew how we wanted to play, so let's try and put that into practice. And credit to the boys, they did it.
Yeah, we knew that they were going to come home pretty hot for sure. Because as I said, like, it was such a close game, and it probably deserved to be closer throughout the entire game than what it really was.
Chris Long, Jonathan Steluto, a couple of guys had really good days out. What impressed you with the way those guys were able to use the footy, and who else did you notice was really able to bring it for you, especially in that fourth quarter run?
Personally, John Steluto, he kicked two quick goals, I think within like 4 minutes out of the midfield, and that really brought everyone else up and about. There's Jai Haynes, he's just a bull in the midfield. Chris Long, he was just clunking him late and dominated the ruck.
Kyle Rogers, Matt Seraphin, Barnes Yanos all had really good days out. What impressed you about those guys, and who else had an influence for you throughout the day? Yeah,
so like Barney's been great this year. Seraphin will tell you how good he's been this year as well. So they've both had really good years for us up forward. They've really put in a lot of work before training. They'll be out there for half an hour, 45 minutes before training, just having shots after shots, and they're really becoming reliable in front of goal, which is just such an important thing to have in your side. Yeah, Kyle as well has been a huge addition to our side. He's been a new recruit, so he's been amazing for us. Even blokes like Jared Spry, getting Adam Petridis back, like Josh Crofton as well. We've just got some really great recruits that have just led the way for us week after week. So yeah, really strong team now. I'm really happy with it.
Is the crosstown rivalry built up internally, or is it, as you said before, just another game?
Yeah, I think it gets built up. To a degree, I think it probably gets built up, you know, more maybe supporters and older people around the club, past players. Particularly with our list, we're still a really young list, so they're still learning about the history of the club and where it's come from. But I think once it gets mentioned, I think everyone sort of jumps out there and it builds its own rivalry because there's more crowd, there's a little bit, you know, a few more past players come and watch that game than any others. So that makes it a little bit more exciting for the players. But 80% of the players have been here 3 years or less, so they're still learning and embracing that.
It's turning into a good rivalry now, and it will be a good one for the next couple of years for sure, because we're second and third. As I said before, we've both got pretty similar age profiles. We'll definitely, we'll more than likely see them in the finals. All that stuff will add to our rivalry. So yeah, since we're now in the same division, I think last year was the first year that we've been back in the same division together. I think now moving forward it'll become a good rivalry, but yeah, it's building.
So despite the loss on the weekend, the ladder positioning still has you guys playing each other in the finals. Obviously a much heavier defeat when you played them the first time this year, only going down by a small margin this time. What are you going to draw on if you have to see them again down the line?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a high probability we'll play them in finals. Or I hope there is anyway, because it means we've finished top three. But I think both sides would probably go into that with a fair degree of confidence. You know, and North Footscray would rightly think, you know, they'd be extremely confident. They've beaten us twice. But I know even talking to our guys, you know, after the game on Saturday, there's, on the back of how we finished in particular, there's a belief that, you know, we can match it and we can take it up to them now. And that's something that, as we spoke about our review and with the leadership group, that we've just got to keep rolling over the next 5 weeks, keep trying to get better, and try and keep that momentum going for hopefully when we do play them in the finals.
Yeah, so I think that we're pretty prepared that it'll more than likely be us versus them in that first final. In terms of what we take away from the first two games, I think it's that the game's going to be really won in the midfield, but also who's prepared to work the hardest.
Talking holistically, you guys are the only team to have beaten Wfnl this year, the ladder leaders. Does a win like that give you the confidence to think you can go all the way?
Absolutely. I think the Wfnl game was so important for us. I mean, we lost a game to Braybrook that I think everyone wasn't expecting us to lose. And then the next week we go and beat Wfnl, which just shows us that when we lost to Braybrook, it was very much the loss we needed to have. That was sort of the few of the phrases going around. And I'm not the biggest believer in that, but at the same time, it was a bit of a wake-up call. But then I think the Wfnl game was the win that we needed to have because it just showed us that we can beat anyone. I think that a lot of clubs have been a bit afraid of Wfnl, especially the way they've been defeating teams as well. So to show that they're beatable was just so important for that confidence and yeah, really a huge motivator for everyone at the club.
Sunshine netballer Dorothy Mepu took us behind the scenes with the Wfnl team for the Netball Victoria Association Championships in late June. Game day. Out of bed and off to the State Netball Centre in Parkville, where her teammates are bringing the vibes with pre-game tunes and dance moves.
I am. Hey. Hey.
Some final words from Coach Rebecca Hicks and her assistants.
You guys, because you guys are playing some amazing netball right now, and we think that everyone deserves the opportunity to represent the league. So you guys have trained really hard. Even though we've only had 2 training sessions, I feel like even though those 2 training sessions, we've got so much out of that. So thank you guys for putting in the work. Because really in my head, we're not here to lose. I mean, is everyone else here to lose? No? We're here to win. So like I said in my message, we play for each other, we show up for our teammates. Amy is our trainer who will be with us all day. So honestly, if you need, use it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah?
It's onto the court for warm-ups before a final word in the huddle.
There we go.
West on 3! 1, 2, 3! West! Baby. What court, Mel? 11, baby. Yes, mama!
The energy was high and the action fast-paced. The team collected 3 wins, a draw and 1 loss from its 5 games. In the end, the girls fell just short of advancing to the semi-finals by the barest of margins. Not the result they hoped for, but a strong showing and plenty of fun on the day.
Hi, it's Andrew Wilson and Connor Payne here from the Wfnl media team to take a look at the season so far and a look ahead to finals. Now, Connor, which team has surprised you so far in Division 1 and Division 2?
Division 1, I think it's probably Albion. They're obviously coming up from Division 2 is always a tough prospect, and they've had some big losses, but I think overall they've really equipped themselves well. They're a really realistic chance, if I can get my words out. Realistic chance of still making finals, which I think any team coming up from Division 2, that's a really good sign of progression.
Yeah, I think the percentage is going to be an issue because they're well behind Spotswood, even though they are equal on points, but I think that could be a problem for Spotswood. For Albion to make the finals in season 2025, but they have been terrific all season. And I think North Footscray in Division 2, they missed finals last year. They're the only team to beat Wfnl, so they've had a terrific season.
Yeah, they really have. Last year, I think, was really, it seemed like it was a building year, and then this year. Obviously, you have a couple of teams go up, but they've really taken advantage of that. You could probably maybe mention Western Rams as well. Obviously, they've really improved from where they were last year. They broke their losing streak last year and have really gone on leaps and bounds. But if I had to choose one team, it probably would be North Footscray.
Yeah, great. All right, now who has been the biggest disappointment you think so far?
I guess it's sort of hard. You don't want to be too negative, but for Division 1, you'd probably say Parkside. Over the last couple of years, they've really recruited well, or seemingly recruited well, and for whatever reason this year, it just hasn't worked. I think they're still probably better than those teams below them, but in terms of taking that next step that we thought they might have, I just don't think they've quite done that this year.
Yeah, Division 1 a bit hard because we had 3 teams go up, so expectations is a bit hard for some of the teams that have come up. So I can't really see someone who's done too badly in Division 1, but in Division 2, I think Laverton, 6 wins last year, 3 wins this year. I think they would have hoped to have, probably not expected to make finals, but at least minimum 6 wins in season 2025.
Yeah, and obviously we've still got a couple of games to go in the season, but yeah, you're probably right. You could also throw in an Auburn started the season really well, but whether it's injuries, off-field coaching, numerous factors, it seems. We thought they might have been the team to take the step up to number 2 behind Wfnl, and at the moment they just haven't done so.
Top 4 in Division 1 and Division 2 seem locked up. Who gets 5th spot in both divisions?
Div 1, I've probably gone to rank outside, even though they are the huge percentage behind. I've tipped Albion, which is a big shout, obviously, because the spots would have that superior percentage. And for Division 2, I have gone Braybrook. So I've gone 2 outsiders. But I think funny things are going to happen, so I've gone the 2 outsiders.
I'm taking it safe. I'm going the 2 teams that are already in the 5. That's going to be Spotswood and Auburn.
We've got the fence right there, so you can just sit on it and then we'll be right.
Nah, they'll do it, I reckon. I'm right. I'm confident they'll make it, Connor. All right, grand final predictions. Who's going to make it?
I mean, realistically, the top 4 for Division 1, you could probably throw a pin at all of them. But at the moment, you'd have to be Werribee Districts versus Hoppers Crossing. Rematch of last year's, obviously Werribee have taken seemingly a step forward again somehow this year, off winning the flag in 23, just losing last year, obviously Hoppers winning last year. But I could see Caroline Springs making it, I could see Yarraville Seddon making it. But at the moment for Division 1, it would be Werribee versus Hoppers. For Division 2, you can't really go past Wfnl and North Footscray. Obviously, Wfnl have lost just the 1 game to North Footscray. They're the clear 2 best sides in it, so I don't think you probably have too many disagreements there. So for Division 2, they're the 2 best teams in it.
I cannot disagree with any of those predictions. They were mine exactly. Now, recruits of the year. I think Tyson Brazel's been fantastic for Yarraville Seddon, and the re-recruit of Daniel Nielsen to Werribee District certainly makes a big difference up front for the Tigers if they're going to win the premiership this season.
It really does. It just gives them a point of difference that they were missing last year, which it's funny to say they only lost the grand final by, I think, ended up being a point or so. It was at least within a goal. But just giving that point of difference both up forward but around the ground, it allows Ben McMahon, if I can get his name correct, to just have a rest forward or on the bench, send another tall into the ruck, and just gives them a point of difference so that the smalls aren't relied upon in doing everything. For Division 2, you can't go past Lewis Stanton. He's leading the goal kicking by about 1,000 goals at the moment. Looks likely to crack the ton. I think he's far and away the recruit of the year for Division 2.
Players of the year, Division 1, I've gone Josh Pickus. He's kicked a lot of goals. He's on 26 goals. He runs and carries, hits the packs hard. I think he's having a terrific year. Big chance for Barry Priest medal.
Yeah, definitely. I think with a couple of outs as well for Hoppers Crossing, whether it's injuries or guys going to the VFL in Harry Maguire, I think he's really taken that step forward, or that step up rather, in some absences. I've also got Alexander Paik. Has missed a couple of games to start the season with just life getting in the way of things. But every game we've seen him this year, he's been absolutely awesome. He's a reigning Barry Priest medalist. And sort of an outside shout would be Darcy McPherson from Albion. As I mentioned before, for Albion, taking that step up from Div 2 to Div 1 is always tough. But they've seemingly done it with aplomb, and he's obviously, as captain, really led from the front. He puts his head under the ball. He can get it from absolutely anywhere, and he just racks up touches for fun. So I'd probably go with those 3.
In Division 2, I've got Lewis Stanton. He's clearly the most key figure in the comp with his bags of goals. So not many players. I think he'd probably win Division 2 best and fairest.
I think you have to. Even we saw him when they played North Footscray. He had a quiet day by his standards, and I think he still had 5 or 6 scoring shots. And if he had his kicking boots on, he probably could have kicked 5 or 6. So I don't think you can go too far past him. The best forward on the best team at the moment.
Yeah, agree there. And the young players, Oliver Castro from Spotswood has been fantastic. He's kicked 12 goals from 8 games. Hopefully he can go to a high level and potentially be another Spotswood listed AFL player in the future.
Yeah, we saw him just randomly when we were doing a Spotswood game earlier in the season, we're almost blown away by how big he is, but just how young he is as well. And he hasn't ever looked out of place in the games we've seen him. I think we've seen him about 2 or 3 times now. So he's really taken to Division 1 football with like a duck to water. He's been absolutely awesome. For Division 2, I would go with Barnaby Sianos. We did the North Footscray v Wfnl game, and their coach,
He pumped him up.
he did, and he delivered. He kicked a couple of goals. He's polled in been in the best of 8 of their 13 games and kicked 23 goals. So he's been a good revelation for North Footscray, and I think helped propel them to second on the ladder in Division 2.
Connor, thanks for your time.
No worries.
For Connor Payne, I'm Andrew Wilson.
Let's take a look at the senior ladders, starting with TIV Division 1 senior men. Despite their first loss of the season in round 14, Werribee Districts remains on top of the table, 2 games clear. Reigning premiers Hoppers Crossing and Yarraville Seddon are second and third, each with 11 wins. Just 4 points back of them is Caroline Springs, while the race for 5th appears to be down to 2 teams, with Spotswood in pole position ahead of Albion. In Division 2 seniors, Wyndham Vale is leading the league with a 14-1 record. A game back is North Footscray with West Footscray third. Incredibly, Braybrook have made their way up to 4th, and then in 5th it's Suns who occupy the last final spot ahead of Sunshine Heights, who are hurt by their percentage. Meanwhile, Auburn Vale, who spent most of the season in the top 5, have slipped to 7th. In St Vincent's Private Hospital Werribee senior women, Caroline Springs are still perfect in 2025 and sitting at the summit of the competition. Parkside is second with a healthy advantage over third place Werribee Centrals, the reigning premiers, and 4th is Yarraville Seddon, who have a 4-point lead over Suns with 3 home and away rounds remaining. To the Belgravia Apparel Netball competition now, and things are tied at the top of the Division 1 ladder, with Glenorden and Caroline Springs tied on 36 points after 11 rounds. Meanwhile, Sunshine has moved ahead of Werribee Districts and Spotswood into third, but things remain tight between all 3 sides. In Division 2, last year's grand finalists, Glenorden and Yarraville Seddon are still the number 1 and number 2 seeds. Newcomers Altona are in third, 1 game ahead of Caroline Springs, who are 2 games clear of Braybrook.
So I'm a field umpire in the Western Football Netball League. Yeah, 2016 is when I first started doing junior football in my first year, and then after that pretty much did senior football from then on. Today marks game number 59 in Div 1 football. Overall senior wise it's about 107. For Division 1 we have observers that come through, so they'll talk to us during breaks and stuff like that and send feedback of our reviews. We also look at our footage because all Div 1 games are recorded. So we look at that throughout the week. And then in terms of game day, I always wear boots regardless of what the ground or weather is like. And we have match day plans as well that we have to come prepared for, usually the night before. So just to prepare us for what the teams are like, the grounds, and just as we communicate as an umpiring team as well. There's been a lot of umpires that I've come through the ranks with on my journey. So basically just being able to umpire with my friends. So we create a lot of friendships along the way, and a lot of them are still around. So some of the best games are when you umpire with your mates, like today. So yeah. I've been running marathons. I started this year, so I've done 2. The Vice President of the Umpire Association got me into Port Fairy at the start of the year. So we did that one together, did that one in 3.5 hours. And then recently ran to Gold Coast and did a PB, so 3:08. So it's not really a talent, but marathons is something that I've got into.
Clyde Milroy from Hoppers Crossing, want him back. Don't know why he left.
Ooh. Who won the league medal last year?
Yeah, we'll take him.
I would probably pick that great girl from Werribee, the one who gets a lot of goals. Larissa, last name starts with an R.
Sure.
Do you know her?
Oh, Renault.
Her. Yeah, definitely her.
Yeah.
Ooh, someone to join our... No, we don't want him. We've got a good team.
Probably Frank Campese, Caroline Springs.
Larissa Reno. Yep. We've been trying to get you for ages.
Yeah, Max Desari, Caroline Springs. He's a gun, played on him last year. Hard to play on.
Probably Jess from Werribee. She dominated in the grand final last year. Ouch. Can we choose no one?
I don't know anyone.
Nah, neither.
Taya from Carra Springs. Yeah, I heard she's real good. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know my opposition too well yet.
Yeah. Me neither.
Zach Thornton from Tarneit. Good footy player, better bloke, and better off field too. So
there's some good players. Maybe a couple of the Sunny Heights recruits from Hoppers.
Keep up to date via the Wfnl website and socials, and remember you can live stream the Wfnl Match of the Day every Saturday. Get the live stream via Sportscast Australia or listen to the radio broadcast on 88.9 Win FM.